With the recent patch, Frontiers removed the option to redo the same high grade over and over again, making it a lot more difficult. But that doesn't mean that we cannot be effective. And today I'm going to run over what I think is going to be the new meta when it comes to hunting grade 5 manufactured engineering materials. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous with Down to Earth Astronomy. So just to get you guys quickly up to speed. Now, prior to the 3.3.02 patch, you could redo the same high grades over and over again by logging out to the main menu, jumping back in, and it would then respawn once you jumped into Super Cruise. That has now been removed. The high grades will now be depleted. This means that some materials are now extremely difficult to come by, and these are materials that require a specific state, like pharmaceutical isolators, for instance, that requires a rare state because they require outbreak. Other materials are still fairly easy to get your hands on. Now today I'm going to run you through what I think is going to be the new meta for how we're going to collect high grade materials. And it's not as easy as it was before. It's not as simple either. Previously you would just find a system with the right state and then just pray to RNGesus that you could get the right high grade with the right materials inside, and once you have it you could just do it over and over again until you had what you needed. Because you can't do that anymore, it means that some of the materials is going to be so difficult to get that it's not really effective to farm them. And you would probably have to resort to cross-trading. I'll come back to all the cross-trading later. So what I think is going to be the best way to do things now is to just run high population systems, and you can try to focus that give you a better chance to get the ones that you need, but run high population systems and just collect anything you want. So here's how I would do it. Let's say I'm looking for a specific system or specific state. I should say I have a spreadsheet, I'll link it to it in the description, where I have all the engineering materials, where you can get them, and where it's available. I have links for video guides on it as well. Very useful. I'll link it in the description, and you can go and you can check that out. And I'll also make sure that that spreadsheet will be kept up to date. So whenever anything changes, I'll make sure to post it and update that spreadsheet. So let's say that I go into the spreadsheet and I say, okay, I need proto-heat radiators. And then so it says that these spawns in high grades in boom systems. So what I would probably do here, booms is a very common state. So in this case, I would go into my galaxy map, go over here, go on states, and I will then filter out everything but boom. So I'll keep boom on and filter out anything else. And then go down here to the population slider. This might be set to none. Set that to population. Keep the maximum at max. And then begin. I can see the systems now popping up here. There's plenty of them around. Then I'll begin to increase this population slider until I see systems beginning to pop off. So something like that. This depends on your jump range. Of course, if you have a very short jump range, you want to go put that lower. But you want to keep it so that you can have at least a few systems within one jump. Because then I could go here would be a good place to start. We have boom. Then I could go over here for the next one, and I could then keep moving, see where else could I find a system. There are a whole bunch of them up here clumped together, so that could be a good area to go up and look here as well. And I would simply just go from system to system to system. And once in system, I would drop into the nav beacon. Once inside the nav beacon, scan it, jump back out to Super Cruise, and then look through my my navigation panel to see if any high grade spawned. If they spawned, I would collect the materials from it, almost regardless of what it is, regardless of what I'm looking for. Because even though boom are a fairly common state, they're easy to find. If we're looking for other states, let's say we're looking for outbreak, we can see right away already with the current slider settings, there's not really any systems around, and we have to go quite far down. Let's go all the way down to minimum. Now we have all systems. And we can still see boom systems outbreak systems are very, very scarce. There's not a lot of them around. From outbreak, you get pharmaceutical isolators, and they're very difficult to get now. So what I would recommend in a case that you want to go for pharmaceutical isolators is you just go for any system that has a high population, and just farm the high grades from there and then cross trade. So this is the difficult part. Now you have to consider, you have to look at the map and see, is this a common state? Can I find lots of systems? If I can't, well then just farm anything and then just cross trade them. Again, cross trading comes with that in a bit. Alternatively, you could also go to a place like Dav's Hope and collect a lot of the grade 4 materials, the lower one in the same branch, and then up-trade those. That's also an option. Both cross-trading from grade 5 to grade 5 and up-trading within the same branch is also both a 6-to-1 trade ratio, so it's quite expensive. But I think this is the best way to do it. In my testing, and I've tested this quite thoroughly, I was able to get around 5 high grades per hour when I'm not being picky with the state of the system. Just go any state, just go and collect whatever I get. I would be able to collect around 5 high grades every single hour. Now the high grades will give you around an average of around 4 materials per high grade. So that means 5 high grades per hour, 4 materials-ish per high grade, giving us 20 material pickups per hour. Of course, you get 3 materials every single pickup, giving you a total of 60 materials in your material hanger. And if you cross-trade those 60 materials, you can get 10 of everything, regardless of what material you picked up. So let's say you need pharmaceutical isolators. Pick up 60 whatever. There could be different materials, and then cross-trade to pharmaceutical isolators, and you'll be able to collect around 10 every hour. I think that's fairly effective. Whether it's faster than collecting 60 chemical manipulators, which is the lower grade, I don't really know. But I think going the high grade route is probably faster. So let me quickly show you what I mean about all the cross-trading. So if I find a station where I can go into contact and that has a material trader, and in this case, of course, it's a manufactured material trader, that is what this is all about. And let's say I'm looking for pharmaceutical isolators. You can see I'm completely out. I could then have been farming, which I have. And you can see, for instance, I have a ton of various materials here. Now, I could want to cross-trade some of them, but don't cross-trade just any materials. Be clever about it. Don't cross-trade the ones that are difficult to get. For instance, you should never cross-trade away from pharmaceutical isolators. That means, when I say cross-trading, that means these are like a branch, and if I say cross-trading, that would say doing this. Like I'm trading one material from another branch of the same tier up to another branch. But when you're selecting which materials you want to cross-trade, do consider what the materials are used for and how easy they are to get. Something like proto-heat radiators, fairly easy to get. Also, like military supercapacitors and military-grade alloys are often very good materials, I think, to cross-trade. Because they come from war and civil war states, so they're fairly common, they're fairly easy to find. And if we take a look at a material like the military-grade alloys here, these are only used in lightweight armor, lightweight hull reinforcement packs, and low-powered shield. Again, not the most useful engineering modifications, not the ones that you would usually use. Therefore, I think that using military-grade alloys as a cross-trader could be a really good option. It's kind of the same if we go and look at the military supercapacitors, which we have down here. If you look at those are pretty much only useful if you're doing, look here, it's most of the high capacity, so increasing ammo amount, but also focused PAs, focused plasma accelerators they're used for. Again, not something you would use that often, and again, they're not that difficult to get because of the military and, the war and civil war states. So military supercapacitors and military-grade alloys is also a good option. Something like, what do we have them? Proto-radiolic alloys is also a good option, and also proto-light alloys, which comes from proto-heat radiators, which come from boom states, are also good cross-traders because boom states are so common, so these would be fairly easy to find. So in a case like this where I needed pharmaceutical isolators, I would say I would cross-trade my military-grade alloys. Let's say I need 10. Probably won't trade all of them in, but I know I'm not going to use these for anything anytime soon, so I will just cross-trade them like that. So all in all, cross-trading from some of the common materials, that's a good option. Up-trading from lower-grade materials is also a good option. I would never recommend down trading grade 5 materials within the branch because they are so difficult to get. Maybe the boom ones I would consider, but for instance, I would never ever do a pharmaceutical isolators to chemical manipulators trade. So if I wanted chemical manipulators, I would never go and do this trade. I would never sacrifice one pharmaceutical isolator to get 3 chemical manipulators. That is not worth it. I don't think that's worth doing these down trades because these are so rare and they're so difficult to get. So for that, I would probably go and farm these specifically or up trade for lower ones if I really wanted to. You can do cross trades like this if you really want, but again, grade 4 materials are so easy to do, so I wouldn't really recommend doing cross trades for the lower. I would only recommend cross trading grade 5s for the more difficult ones. Okay, so this was a very technical video. I hope it still made sense. I tried to go into a little bit more detail, so hopefully you got the gist of what I'm on about here. Of course, I'll do my very best to keep you guys updated with the latest when it comes to gathering materials, gathering credits. Also looking into rank, getting some videos out on that. So if you want all that information, make sure you go down and you hit that subscribe button. That would make me very happy if you would do that. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Just a little bonus video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I will see you guys in space.